Have you ever gotten halfway through a movie and realized that you missed the first 10 minutes? Who's that guy? Do we know them? Why are they fighting? Why does that matter? Suddenly, you're asking questions that it seems like everyone else has the answer to. And I was thinking about this as I prepped for this teaching today, because so many of us can experience that with God. We know pieces of the Christian story. We know Jesus, we know about sin, we know about salvation. But if we misunderstand the beginning of the story, then we can misunderstand God and ourselves and everything that comes afterward. How you understand the beginning changes how you interpret everything that comes next. So, for example, in one tradition in ancient Egypt, the god Ra had a wandering eye that he lost. And when the eye returned, the god wept, and humanity came from his tears. In Babylon, there is an ancient tradition that speaks of generations of gods that are embroiled in violent conflict with each other. And one kills another and forms the cosmos from her dead body. And another is executed, and humanity is made from his blood. It's a very graphic narrative. And then there's one of the traditions from ancient Greek mythology. And it says that humanity came from a conflict between Zeus and Prometheus. And Prometheus steals fire for humans, and Zeus retaliates against both Prometheus and humanity, with Pandora becoming part of humanity's ultimate punishment. Imagine what these stories could communicate about reality. It says that humanity is subject to these gods that can be jealous and vindictive and deceptive and unpredictable. Humans can actually even find themselves caught in divine conflict between these gods and then suffer because of it. These stories weren't just answering, where did we come from? They were communicating ideas about what gods are like and what humans are worth and why we're here and what kind of world we're living in and what we as humans could expect from the divine. An origin story doesn't just tell you where you came from. It tells you what kind of world you think you're living in. And so then we take this to our belief system and we look at Genesis 1. Because that begins with a radically different and distinct story. In the beginning, God. It's starting with our God who was here before we were. In the beginning, our God who created and called things good, placed us as his children in the garden called delight. The Bible doesn't begin with human failure or sin or judgment or anger. It begins with God, who then creates. And he doesn't create at a distance. He creates up close and personal, even creating with his own hands, breathing into us his own breath. What does this origin story reveal? Our God created intentionally. Humanity wasn't an accident or an unintended consequence of something else happening. He says, let us, Father, Son, Spirit, make mankind in our image. There's intention behind our existence. He created over and over again and called it good. And after he created humanity, it says he called us very good. God establishes what is created to be. And Genesis gives us a radically different identity. We are image bearers of God, with purpose and responsibility and design in God's grand creation. We're not merely in his creation, we get to represent him within it. And then God blessed them. Male and female, he blessed them before they accomplished anything, before they proved anything, before they had anything to offer him. God blessed them. That is also part of our origin story. The Bible introduces us to God's goodness before it introduces us to human sin. And so my encouragement for you today is not to start the Christian story too late. So often we kind of jump ahead past Genesis 1 and 2. If we're not in kids' church, we jump into Genesis chapter 3 with human sin. But if that's our starting point, then it can make the whole origin story sound like it's about humans messing up and us having a consequence and Jesus coming so we could finally get back on God's good side. But that's not where God starts, and that's not where our origin story starts. It begins with our God, who is for us and before us, who created us intentionally, not out of need, but out of love, and called all of his creation, including the humans he created, good. He made us in his image and blessed us and gave us purpose. Relationship with God isn't God's emergency response to sin. It's what humans were made for from the beginning. And so understanding redemption includes understanding what God is redeeming. And we can't fully grasp what sin broke until we know what God called good. And we can't understand God's response to humanity's failure if we skip the part where he first showed us the posture he took toward the humanity he created. Up close, hands in the dirt, breathing his breath into our lungs. God is intentional. God is good and generous. And as humans, we bear his image. We are infused with his purpose, and he blessed us. That is the story we're given first. But it doesn't take long before another voice enters the story and asks humanity to consider a different version of God. What if he isn't as generous as you think? What if he's withholding something good from you? What if God can't be trusted? We've been wrestling with competing stories about God ever since, because these same accusations started back in the garden. And the origin story we have in Genesis 1 and 2, it's not the only story that has shaped what you believe about God. You have your own story too. And what you've experienced may be influencing what you believe about God in ways that you don't even realize. I know that was true for me. And that's exactly what we're talking about next.